Meta Platforms, the company behind Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, is reportedly preparing for the largest layoffs in its history. If you rely on clear, independent reporting about the forces reshaping the American workforce, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because what we're about to break down is not just another tech story. It's a warning signal, a signal about where jobs are going next. More than 15,000 jobs, possibly over 20% of its entire workforce. That number alone is staggering. But the real story isn't just the scale of the cuts, it's the reason behind them: artificial intelligence. According to multiple reports, CEO Mark Zuckerberg is aggressively restructuring the company to redirect resources into AI infrastructure, data centers, and next-generation intelligence systems. This isn't a slowdown, it's a strategic pivot, and it's happening at one of the most powerful technology companies in the world. To understand what this means, you have to look at the numbers. Meta employs roughly 79,000 people globally. A 20% cut means more than 15,000 jobs could disappear. That would make it the largest workforce reduction in the company's history, even larger than the massive layoffs during what Zuckerberg once called the year of efficiency in 2022 and 2023. This time, the stakes are different, because the company isn't just cutting costs, it's rebuilding itself around artificial intelligence. Behind the scenes, Meta is preparing to spend enormous amounts of money on AI. Estimates suggest tens of billions, potentially over $100 billion, could be poured into AI infrastructure, data centers, and advanced computing systems in the coming years. That level of investment changes everything, because when companies spend that kind of money, they have to find it somewhere. And increasingly, that somewhere is payroll. This is the new economic equation of Silicon Valley. More investment in machines, fewer humans to operate them, and that shift is accelerating. Inside Meta, executives are reportedly reorganizing teams, flattening management layers, and increasing the ratio of employees per manager. In some cases, projects that once required large teams are now being handled by a single highly skilled individual using AI tools. That is a fundamental change in how work gets done, and it has real consequences. Because when one person can do the work of 5, the company doesn't need 5 anymore, it needs 1, highly skilled, highly adaptable, and increasingly highly technical. At the same time, Meta is quietly stepping away from one of its biggest bets of the last decade, the metaverse. For years, Zuckerberg positioned virtual reality and immersive digital worlds as the future of the internet. The company invested tens of billions of dollars into its Reality Labs division. But the results have been underwhelming: massive losses, limited adoption, and growing skepticism from investors. Now the focus is shifting away from virtual worlds toward artificial intelligence. That shift is already visible. Meta has begun cutting jobs inside its Reality Labs division, the very unit that once represented its vision of the future. At the same time, the company is recruiting aggressively for AI talent, offering massive compensation packages, building new AI teams, and investing in next-generation models. This is not a gradual transition. It's a full-scale realignment, and it reflects a broader trend across the tech industry. Companies are no longer competing just on software. They are competing on intelligence. Who can build the smartest systems, the fastest models, the most efficient AI-driven platforms? And in that race, efficiency matters. Wall Street is watching closely. Investors are asking tough questions about spending, and companies are responding by cutting costs while increasing AI investment. Meta is not alone. Across the tech sector, thousands of jobs are being eliminated as companies shift toward AI-driven operations. But Meta's scale makes this different. Because when a company of this size restructures, it sends a signal to the entire industry, a signal that the rules are changing, and that signal is already being felt. Inside Meta, leadership has been clear about one thing: the future belongs to smaller, more efficient teams, teams that can move faster, build faster, and deliver results with fewer people. That's the promise of artificial intelligence, but it comes with a cost: human jobs. Now here's where the story becomes more complicated, because Meta insists that these layoffs are not simply about replacing workers with AI. Officially, the company describes this as a restructuring, a shift in priorities, a move toward efficiency. But when you look at the details, a pattern emerges. Jobs tied to older strategies and like virtual reality are being cut. Jobs tied to artificial intelligence are being expanded, and the overall workforce is shrinking. That's not just restructuring. That's transformation. And it raises a critical question for workers across the United States. If one of the most powerful tech companies in the world is reducing its workforce while investing billions into AI, what does that mean for everyone else? Because historically, the tech industry has been a source of job growth. High-paying roles, expanding teams, endless demand for talent. But now, that model is being challenged. AI is changing the economics of labor. It's allowing companies to produce more with fewer people. And that changes hiring decisions. It changes career paths. It changes the entire structure of the workforce. We are entering a phase where efficiency is no longer just a goal. It's a requirement. And companies that don't adapt risk falling behind. If you're finding this analysis valuable, take a moment to subscribe to the channel, because these shifts are happening fast, and understanding them is no longer optional. Now step back and look at the bigger picture. Meta's potential layoffs are not happening in isolation. They are part of a larger wave. A wave driven by artificial intelligence. A wave that is forcing companies to rethink everything: how they operate, how they hire, and how they define value inside the organization. For decades, companies scaled by adding people: more engineers, more managers, more teams. Now they're scaling by adding intelligence: algorithms, models, automation systems. And that shift is reducing the need for large workforces. It's not eliminating work, but it is concentrating it. Fewer people, doing more with the help of AI. That's the new model, and it creates a new kind of workforce, one where adaptability matters more than tenure, where skills matter more than titles, and where continuous learning becomes essential, because the tools are changing and the pace of change is accelerating. For workers, this creates both risk and opportunity. Those who can adapt, those who can learn new technologies, those who can work alongside AI systems. They may find themselves more valuable than ever, but those whose roles depend on routine, repetitive tasks. They face increasing uncertainty. That's the reality of the AI transition. And Meta's layoffs are one of the clearest signals yet that the transition is already underway. Not in the future, not in theory. Right now, inside one of the most influential companies in the world, the timeline for these potential layoffs is still unclear. Meta has described some reports as speculative, but multiple sources confirm that internal discussions are happening, plans are being considered, and the direction is clear: more AI, fewer people. That's the trajectory, and it's one that other companies are likely to follow. Because once one major player proves the model works, others will move quickly to replicate it. That's how Silicon Valley operates, and that's why this story matters far beyond Meta. It's not just about one company. It's about the future of work, the structure of the economy, and the role of human labor in an increasingly automated world. The question now is not whether AI will change the workforce. It already is. The question is how far that change will go and how quickly it will happen. Because if current trends continue, we may be looking at a future where large teams are no longer the norm, where companies operate with lean, highly skilled workforces, and where artificial intelligence fills the gaps. That future is no longer hypothetical. It's being built right now, and the decisions being made today will shape the job market for years to come. If you want to stay ahead of these changes and understand what they mean for your career, your industry, and the broader economy, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because the story of AI and jobs is just getting started, and we're going to be here covering every step of it.